Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. North America, or wherever you may find yourself. I'm Silver Sterling, and are you ready for a mystery? Hexaco Motor Oils presents the Hexaco Mystery Radio Hour, sponsored by Hexaco. Tonight, we bring you tales from the gritty streets of Chicago with Gun for Hire.
The old saying goes, seeing is believing. And for folks scraping by in Chicago in 1933, if they can't hold it in their hands, it's phonus, balonus, and a waste of their time. But for Grace Gunn, our Shamus, and her three compadres, they might start seeing things with their peepers they don't want to believe.
Things from the spooky side of the street don't want to be seen any more than we want to see them. They linger in the shadows of dark alleys, cemeteries, and other places we as sensible human beings don't bother going once the sun goes down. But every now and again sense goes out the window and we go into those shadows. There really isn't anything hiding there that can hurt us, right? Grandma Vic filled my head with stories of the weird in the Old West. Demons that prowled the countryside, devouring those wayward souls that crossed their paths. Dead towns that seemed to come back to life, if you could call it life. And those nasty, overgrown fireflies. I never knew when she was yanking my chain, or when she believed what she was saying. What do you do when those shadows show up at your door asking for help? Being new to the PI biz, I was taking whatever worked walk through my door. The rain played a quick staccato on the window pane as one of my first clients spoke. This would be the first in a long line of cheating spouses. The man who sat on the other side of my desk was very plain, and the case was unremarkable. But there was just something a hair off about him. As we closed the deal, we were both startled by a bright flash of lightning and a rumbling boom of thunder. In those seconds, I noticed his face shift. The brief light illuminating something unnatural just under the surface. Something a bit grotesque. And just as quick, things were back the way they were. I took the case. When the man left my office, I sat at my desk, trying to figure out if I had seen what I thought I saw. My mind wandered to more of the stories that Grandma Vic had told me. But that was the Old West, and this was 1930s Chicago. Things like that didn't happen today, did they?
So you take a car, you park, you get out, you're heading through the alleyway. Irving, both Irving and Tommy, make me common knowledge rolls, please.
I need to start raising that.
Common is a rapper and actor.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I passed my common knowledge roll.
Ooh, 2s and 3s.
You're just making sure before I go on. And either one of you going to spend a penny?
Common knowledge, not so common.
I'll spend a penny.
All right.
Whoa!
Whoa! Wow, look at you.
That's a much better roll than mine.
Yay, well worth it. So, what time of day is it?
It's definitely before 5 o'clock, so it's still actually daytime. So I don't have a spooky alley in the daytime.
Well, so that is the sun, and that's just how the city looks in the middle of the day, right?
Perfect.
I mean, it's a noir
Yes.
city, so
It is. Yeah, so it's always dark in some capacity. You park the car and you begin walking around, and Irving, the car ride down here, and then reliving that day and all of the alleys and ways that you went, you got a little confused. But between yourself and Bam Bam's scrutiny of the photo, you're able to get yourself to where you needed to go. You're getting close to it, to the location. And Irving, you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's around. It's right up this way, right around that way. And Bam Bam's like, no, it's actually down a little bit further and then up that way. Oh yeah, that's right.
sorry, this car ride's got me all messed up. I'm not used to going this fast.
And you come around the corner and you immediately see a cop car kind of parked in the mouth of this, a little bit inside the mouth of this alleyway. And there's a cop poking their head around there, and they turns and sees the four of you standing basically right there, just kind of staring back at them.
Maybe the cops already found the victim.
I'm close enough to hear it, and I shoot him the death glare to tell him to shut up.
Irving. The cop begins to take a few steps forward.
Hey, nice to see you.
And the car is in between the two of you, and he steps up. Oh yes, yeah, Irving. And then you see his name badge. It's Glukowski. It says that on there, and you recognize this person as Officer Marcel Glukowski. You've met this cop several times in the past at various crime scenes.
What brings you out here so late at night? Or wait, what brings you out here in the middle of the day?
Well, I'm just back and just kind of casing the area a little bit more. I'm kind of I suppose you're here maybe to pay some respects, huh? You're one of your compatriots. Died in this alley.
I heard.
You knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Word gets around fast between us.
Tell her. Yeah, that it does. Teller
Right,
was the
Humphrey.
name.
So how observant is the police officer to the rest of us? Can we be like sidling off to go?
Oh, you're using me as a distraction,
look at
are
other
you?
stuff?
I see.
Yes.
Make a stealth roll in that regard, Grace. And
Can I aid them?
yes, how would you like to assist them?
Marcel, can you show me where it happened? And is it icy out here? Because I've got my cane with me, so I'm like, and so.
It's certainly it's snow.
So can you show me where it happened? I just got pointed to this area, but it's been kind of tough to find it. If I didn't see your car here, I probably wouldn't even have stopped, or I probably wouldn't even have stopped.
Yeah. Now, of course, I know that this is actually me speaking. I won't speak in his voice, otherwise this will get weird. I know that you're lying, so you're gonna have to make a little bit of a performance roll on that, because you know exactly where he died.
I do know exactly. Well, I got confused earlier. So it's performance for lying, not persuasion.
I believe this would be. Well, you could try and persuade him that you're.
Because I don't have performance, but I do have persuasion.
Yes.
Oh man, I am horrible today. At the Benny.
Oh, it just rolled off that 6.
But I got a 4.
You did get a 4. He cocks his head slightly, and as you're talking, and so the rest of you will get.
So I'm kind of pointing him in a different direction as I'm talking to him.
And you know what? And for that part, go ahead and make another persuasion roll, and this will be your assist to everybody else's.
There's another 4.
So to go back to Grace's thing about just trying to stealth around, yes, and you can get a +1 to your roll. So Grace, you would have got a 4. So Grace, you kind of start moving, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay, and then now the other two of you, Miles and Tommy, are you guys moving as well, or are you just kind of staying there, or?
I was taking her lead.
I will first notice that they're leaving. Okay. I notice that Grace and Bam Bam are kind of stealthily moving off, so I will play run interference and kind of pick my nose or something just to get the cops' attention. He's looking at me and Grace and Bam Bam.
Yeah, provided you're not standing right in front of us.
Well,
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make another, or go ahead and make a performance roll. Do you have performance, Miles?
You ask of the saxophone player.
Oh yeah, duh. Okay.
You lose another Benny Hus.
All right, so you can get an additional +1 there from Miles's effort to be a distraction. So that gives Grace a 5, and
when I checked my stealth earlier, it was a 4. So that'd be a
4.
5.
Okay, so you're a 6.
Oh, 6, yes.
Well, because you get a +1 now extra for. All right. Let's get back to our conversation here. While they're doing. So you mentioned that about. I actually go back to, what did you say again in regards to showing him where it was?
Can you show me where where you found him, essentially? Also to avoid the ice if there is any, because I've got a cane and all that.
Right. He cocks his head a little strange and he says, "Yeah, okay. It was right around this way." And he does kind of look a little bit towards Grace and Tommy, but his eyes kind of flick over towards Miles as well, briefly. And then he shows you, he was, he was found right about here. And, strangely, his camera was not, his camera was not here.
Really?
Whoever killed him took his camera.
Why would they take his camera? Maybe he was getting into something.
Well, my suspicion, and he looks at you, makes eye contact with you. My suspicion is that they probably got a picture of the murderer. Whatever's on that camera probably is the closest and the best clue that we have to this alley cat killer that we've had so far.
As he says this, there's in my bag that I carry with me are the literal pictures he's speaking of that I have not looked at this entire time.
Yeah, so make me a spirit roll.
Spirit roll? Did I keep my cool?
see how much of your cool you can.
7.
7?
Yeah.
All right. It would be nice if we could find that.
Well, hopefully the killer himself didn't take it, because then you're never going to see it.
It's possible. That's possible. I am hoping that the curiosity will get the best of this killer, and if he did take the camera, he'll bring it someplace to get the film developed. So we're doing our work. Hey, and he says to you, "Don't I know her?"
Who?
And where are you stealthing to now, Grace?
Well, trying to work our way back, up the alley or down the alley, whichever way to get to the building where the stabbing took place.
Gotcha. So that basically puts you going through the alley. By this point, you certainly have walked past where Officer Glukowski and Irving are and talking about things and whatnot, and you've gotten to the end of the alley, or to where there's a corner, and then up the fire escape is to the window is where that would be. I mean, that's kind of where the two of you are at.
But they're not in eyesight, are they?
They are still. Yes, they are still in. They are still in eye shot.
Well, if we've made it to the end of the alley, can we just go right around the corner and kind of get out of eye shot? Or what's...
I was wondering why we were going up the fire escape, where if we know it's a building, we kind of know which room it might be. We could go in the building and up the stairs on the inside.
You stopped at the fire escape, and if you were to go up the fire escape, you would be at the window where the stabbing was. Is what I was saying. So no, you weren't going up the fire escape. But now, Brad, to go back to what you said, I thought that
Because, okay, here's what I remember from the very first encounter.
No, you're right. Yeah. Go ahead.
I cut him off in an alleyway, took his picture. He kept on running to another alleyway, and then I chased after him, and that's where I found him on top of Teller. Because that's why I was leading him to where the body was, to get him away from where you guys are going.
All right, so we'll back this up a little bit. So you're essentially, he's taking you further down the alley and then going to the right, and then he looks back at the point where he sees Tommy and Grace standing at the foot of the fire escape, and you guys can then, of course, make your decision where you want to go from there. And he looks back and points at Grace and says to you, I think I recognize her. Who are you with?
Me,
Yeah.
And so Irving turns. Now I have to decide whether I need to lie or not.
Oh, you'd better lie like a frickin' rug.
But you're not in trouble with the law.
And I want to stay that way. Just
Why would they be in trouble? All right, hold on. I got okay. Would Irving lie? Let's make a spirit check right now to see if Irving lies.
Well, duh.
If it's a D8, if I roll a 4 or higher, he's going to lie. He rolled a 7. He's going to lie. All right,
Good.
I gotta come up with a good lie for this. That's just a friend of mine who gave me a I had to borrow a. You know I don't have a car, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they were headed down here to visit a friend, and so I was like, hey, can I catch a ride since it's right near where I heard that Mumfrey went down, and so I was, and so I just hopped a ride. Why? Do you know her?
Let's roll a performance or persuasion on that one.
Yeah, that's a crappy lie. Oh boy, I'm glad I'm good friends with him.
I seem to recognize her. I want to say I've seen her at least at one of the precincts. I know.
Really?
Well, I know she's not another officer, but I can't remember. Maybe she was a reporter or something. I don't know. She just looks familiar. But whoever the big galoot is with her, though.
So you're saying I need to get some tips from her so I can get some better pictures?
Maybe that could be. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just. I don't. It's not important. It's not.
So you have no leads about Mumfrey then at all? Is that why you're out here again?
Yeah. We're just out here, just making sure. As you kind of continue to walk down the alley. All right. So Tommy, Grace, and Miles, what are the three of you doing as Irving and Officer Glukowski's words begin to fade?
You better figure something out for me to lose out on all these pictures.
So, looking at the building, if we were to go inside, would we be able to determine which room, into the hallway that we would need to go into? And which floor?
Probably.
Looking for a front door or a side door into the building.
All right, that is easily found, and you can make your way. This definitely looks like it's an apartment building of some sort. And now go ahead and make me a smarts roll. Actually, make me what do we got for smarts for the three of you? What die types?
D4, I'm the dumb one.
I have a D8.
D8.
So what is that? That's 16. It's 20. 20 divided by 3. It's about 18. All right, give me somebody roll me a D6 plus 2. All right, 7. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, it does take you a few minutes because it's a little bit more twisty in here than you thought, but you're able to get to where you need to be, and you're pretty sure the door that you are at is the one. Grace, make me a notice roll. And you can add your investigation to it.
And alertness?
Okay, yeah, that would definitely count on this. Wow, okay, so yeah, +4 total on that. Or +2 more, it looks like. So 16 total. Grace, the three of you reach the door, and your instincts kind of kick in immediately, and you can tell, though the door is shut, there is a forced entry sort of split on the door frame and where the doorknob is. It's hidden, but it's not hidden very well.
So it's been like kicked open or shouldered or whatever.
It probably was something to that effect, yes, and obviously it then since shut.
Obviously somebody really wanted to get into this building, so we need to be careful. And I try the doorknob to push it open and go in.
Okay, yeah, it you can tell right away that it the bolt in there has been busted, and the door just kind of gives when you put a little bit of pressure on there, and it begins to open.
So when you say bolt, you mean like a deadbolt?
No, the bolt in the door. You know, there's no like deadbolt. It's to lock it. It's just because it's like a regular key lock.
The doorknob is
correct. Yeah, the bolt in the door.
So the doorknob wiggles when. Okay.
And so yeah, so it gives right away.
Push it open.
So you going in?
Yep. And I should probably make Bam Bam go in first. Muscle man.
Happily.
Bam Bam, you walk in. This is, well, and the rest of you can see this. It is a messily furnished apartment. Furniture quality, not the best. Looks like there is makeshift bedding kind of around the living room area there for maybe 2 or 3 other people to sleep. There's nobody in here, at least right now, that you can tell. And that's what you see in the living room. The area where you would have seen the stabbing from is probably to the left of where you're at right now.
Tommy holds a hand up to Grace kind of behind his back with all his fingers outspread as a weight. Gives her a nod and heads deeper in towards the room where the event would have happened.
Cautiously follow, even though he just told me to wait.
You're standing in the living room, you look to the right, it looks like you can see the single bedroom off onto the right side, and looks like you can also tell that's probably where the bathroom is, just slightly to the right of that, and then to the left is the kitchen.
Tommy's moving through the structure here, taking in every little detail that he can see, and he catches himself trying not to hold his breath.
You all right, big man?
Yeah, I hope she's not here.
Me too.
Which way do you want to go? Do you want to go towards the bedroom, bathroom, or to the kitchen?
Bedroom, bathroom.
I'll take kitchen.
Bam Bam. You go towards the bedroom and you glance In the bathroom, you can see it's got a clawfoot tub and toilet. The curtain is pulled on the tub, and there's enough light coming in there. You can't tell. There's strange shadows from behind the translucent curtain that goes around that rings the tub. You're not sure if it's just a trick of the light or if there's something actually in there. The bedroom, you can see the bed and a dresser, and then there is something looks, you can't quite see all the way into the bedroom, but there's something just that would you have to step inside the door to see. It almost looks like it might be, either, you're just not sure. It's a line of some sort.
Is there a door in the bathroom?
Yes, and it is open.
I'll pull the door shut to the bathroom.
Okay.
And step into the bedroom.
All right, you step into the bedroom, and you walk in. The bed, there is a single bed and a dresser, and the bed is very messy. The blankets are all askew, pillows on the floor. There's some more, looks like there's some more makeshift bedding in here for at least one other person to sleep on the floor. And then there is what looks to be like a couple of large pieces of wood kind of stacked and leaned up against the wall just to the side of the bed. But there is no one in here.
When you say a large piece of wood, like plywood or 2x4s?
It's like plywood. It's like two little pieces. Each are about 3 to 4 feet in height, maybe about 2 feet wide.
Tommy will go over, grab a hold of one of the pieces of plywood, and just slowly pull it back, a little afraid of what he might find behind it.
Because they're angled, they're leaning, so are you just going to kind of flip one to flip it back and land, or are you going to grab it with one hand or both hands?
I'll be standing to, let's say, the right of it, grabbing it with my left hand and lifting it slightly so that it pivots on the opposite corner so that I can swing it open like a door to look behind it.
Okay. All right. And we will say that Miles was covering the exit, and probably about this time is when Irving would be coming down the hallway there. So you grab the board, Tommy, and you begin to open it, and then we switch to Grace. Grace, you step to the left and head in towards the kitchen, and it's a galley kitchen for sure. There's like a little kind of almost a bar that separates the kitchen from the living area, and there's at least one stool that's there. And the countertop has a few dishes on there, and it's got a little 2-burner stove. You cross the threshold of the kitchen, and you're looking very cautiously kind of around the corner towards where the icebox is. And as soon as you cross that threshold, you feel this sort of this jolt go through your body, almost just like a shiver. And there's a couple of flashes in your eyes, and your perspective has changed suddenly, and it's like you find yourself on the other side of this, almost with your back to the stove, and someone is coming at you, and you've kind of hit the back of the stove, and the next thing you know, there's this figure coming down on you. You can't quite make out details beyond the fact that there's a thick mustache and a suit with, like, maybe it's pinstripes. It's hard to tell. Everything is moving very quickly, but there is this shining glint of steel that attracts your attention, and your eyes flick up, and you see this blade come right down at you, and you feel this intense pain right in your chest.
I can't do anything to try to deflect or anything like that?
No, you like put you put your hands up and like the arm, the reach just goes right underneath it, and you feel this pain. There is like this white flash in your eyes. And then we go back to Tommy, and you pull this board across, and just as you do, you see a hole in the wall, and it looks like there is a matching pair of boards on the other side. And at that point, you hear this thump coming from the kitchen area, and Irving, you're just crossing into the room at this point in time, and you hear this thump also to your left as you go in.
Tommy will spin on his heel, drop the plywood, and move out of the bedroom, past the bathroom, making sure the door is still closed, and looking for what might have caused a thump.
Okay. And so Irving and Miles, what are the two of you going to do?
I will just continue to keep, an eye on the door here. If I already saw Tommy going through where I heard the thump, he can handle anything better than I could, so...
Yeah. I will lean around the edge just after Tommy goes past to see if I can see what's going on in there, that sort of thing.
Tommy, you zip across this living room. Irving, you kind of stay a safe distance behind looking, and as you come through, you see Grace, and she has... Well, your first thing you see is her feet, like she's laying on the floor, and you round the corner, and she's essentially on the floor. You have a panicked moment because there is all kinds of blood around her, and you lean down to grab her, and then you realize immediately that it's not her that's bleeding. In fact, she's laying there. She's out at the moment. She's unconscious, but there's blood around her, but it is definitely not hers. You don't see any wounds. There's no blood on her clothing or anything like that at all.
So seeing that it's not Grace's blood because of no injuries on her, that kind of thing, Tommy's gonna try to pick her up, and if nothing else, fireman carry, sling her over her shoulder to try to get her out of here.
As Bam Bam comes back carrying Grace, what happened? And step out of his way at the same time.
Irving, Miles, watch the next door down. These rooms are connected. Somebody busted the wall open.
As you are attending to Grace, we're just going to back this up for 1 second because there's one other thing that happens during this magic moment.
Uh-oh.
This magic moment.
So Miles, you glimpse, you see Tommy race across towards Grace, and your instincts are, like you said, he can handle this better than anything I could do. And so you immediately turn your attention back to the hallway that you're covering. And as you do, you see someone standing in the hallway briefly, just further down the hall, and they're looking directly at you. They make this bizarre eye contact with you. You're almost positive that you see a glint of reflecting metal or steel or something in their right hand, and they look at you, and you can't make out necessarily too many details beyond a thick mustache and maybe a really nice pair of white and black shoes, and this face makes eye contact with you, and your vision's kind of going all over the place, and then this hand just comes up and places a finger to its lips, and you hear it say, "Shh."
And now, some wondrous words of wisdom about products to make your life better.
Looking for a new show on the wireless? Willow Chum, tune that dial to adventure as Snyder's Return takes a romp of daring do around Baldur's Gate. Fists, fur, and a mountain of trouble will enthrall, ensnare, and encapsulate you. Too much excitement? Then listen to their interviews. Newsworthy, hard-hitting, humorous. Come join the party as they're available at a broadcast near you.
Well, for something that started with a simple photograph, it's developing into something a lot bigger. With a little pluck, these four might soon start to know their onions, but we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, that's enough for now. So shake a leg till next time. But just so we're clear, the part of Grace Gunn was played by Jill Rich, Irving Holt is played by Brad Smith, Miles Pike is played by Scott R. Nelson, and Tommy Bam Bam Prue is played by Brent Rich. And the boss in charge of this clip joint is Chris Hussey. I'm E.I. Witt, and remember, taking a wooden nickel is less trouble than a ghost rock dime.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Hexaco Mystery Radio Hour. This game references the Savage Worlds game system, available from Pinnacle Entertainment Group at peginc.com. It is unofficial media content permitted under the Media Network Content Agreement. This content is not managed, approved, or endorsed by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Certain portions of the materials used are the intellectual property of Pinnacle, and all rights are reserved. Savage Worlds, all related settings, and unique characters, locations, logos, and trademarks are copyrights of Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Leaving a 5-star review of this podcast not only helps everyone here at the Hexaco Mystery Radio Hour, it's also your civic duty. When doing so, please search for Fear the Boot Actual Play. Hexaco wants to remind you to make your car run like magic and always use great Hexaco products. Until next time, I'm Silver Sterling, reminding you to always keep one eye on the shadows.